So here you can see the beautiful Porsche Taycan 4S in black. I think it's very nice because no chrome on the car, and even the bumper is in black, so looks very beautiful. So this would be as well my favorite configuration, all black. I think Porsche in all black is very beautiful, and so far I'm quite surprised, especially about the range. Yeah? So because the range is similar to the 2017 Model S with a 100 battery, so the S100D, and consumption is okay, you know, not that high. I will make on my special Autobahn a range test later with less traffic, and will update you later. Hello my dear friends, so we are driving the Porsche Taycan today, and so this is a 4S, so this is the one probably who has the longest range, and we will try the range actually today. And weather is quite nice, has 14 degrees, and this car is still on winter tires because it's obligatory to have winter tires till the middle of April. And so therefore bars and restaurants going to close today. So anyway, bars going to close because of this coronavirus. I decided to make some range tests with the Porsche Taycan, and it's a really beautiful car. It has a little bit of a sound, yeah, so it's not very noisy, but some kind of SpaceX sound. A little joke for Tesla owners. And yeah, I will show you later how much this car, how far you can go instead of the, you know, not instead of the Tesla, but I'm a Tesla owner. I have a Model S Performance P85D, so older one, and so I'm very curious about the consumption, and I will drive around 60 miles per hour at the average, and right now you can see the average consumption is 18.9, but it's going uphill since the last 10 kilometers. So I'm very curious what will come out later on my little range Taycan tests. Hello my friends, so that we can compare Tesla with the Porsche Taycan, yeah, at these range mode speeds at around 60 miles an hour, 55-60 miles an hour. I will drive this evening the same distance with my Tesla Model S P85D. It's still on winter tires, and so then we can see. So my average consumption is 17.2 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometer. So I cannot switch it here to range mode in miles, but it's 1.6 times 17.2, so then you have the consumption in miles. So I was driving about 85 kilometers, and the average consumption is 16.9. There was also a little bit driving in the city of Munich for 10 minutes, and so according to what I've heard from others, the net capacity of the batteries are around 87, so the usable capacity is about 87. So that means you have a range at these Tesla Björn speeds for about 520 kilometers. I think, which is around the same which the P100, no, the Model S 100D has. So not the new one, not the Raven edition, but the older ones, the 100Ds from 2017. They have a range about 520 kilometers at 60 miles per hour. So according to Tesla Björn, and according to my consumption, which I did, and it was mostly going more or less uphill, a little bit more uphill than downhill. So it means you have a range of 520 kilometers, which is not that bad. So we are starting the range test now, going from Munich to Garmisch, 65 kilometers away, going in both directions. Temperature outside is 17.5 degrees, and I've just put it to 0. So just for you to know, to go to Garmisch, it goes a little bit uphill. So elevation of Garmisch is about 650 meters. Munich, where we started right now, is about 530. So we will go 120 meters higher, and then we will go the same way back. So consumption when I pressed for Z to 0 was 20.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And but I will go both directions so that we can see how much is the Porsche Taycan, is the consumption of the Porsche Taycan when you drive with a TP test procedure, Tesla Björn test procedure, TP test procedure. So talk to you later, guys, and yeah, it's a beautiful day, 18 degrees, and it's just a perfect day for measuring the distance, so the range of the Taycan. It's a Taycan 4S, so it's not a Turbo or Turbo S, it's just the 4S, but it's a very beautiful car, as you could see, and I'm very, very excited how much will be the range. So, and by the way, so the range is right now, according to the Odometer, 234 kilometers, but I think it's like kind of a typical range, like with a Tesla. So if you're driving very fast, you don't reach that 235, and when you drive slow, you will reach it without any problems. So talk to you later. So coming briefly back to you, I will do the same trip with my Tesla Model S P85D, doing that eventually tomorrow at the same time of the day, because weather tomorrow will be as well quite good. So I will be very, very surprised, and I'm curious about the range difference on a similar day, on the same kind of drive going from Munich to Garmisch, and I'm very surprised what comes out of that. So a little resume in between my test drive. So the Autopilot, of course it's not called Autopilot with Porsche, but I want to show you something. So I'm driving on this Autopilot. It's going from the right side, it's going to the left side, and then it's again going to the right side. So it doesn't really keeps in the middle of the lane. So it's going a little bit from the left side. Now it's going again to the left side. And here you can see it's driving now to the right side, and it's going to the left side. So this one, you know, is not really working very, very properly. So it's not keeping the middle of the lane in driving. So it's a little bit going in S-curves. I don't know exactly the name in English, but probably you will understand. So it's turning, it's doing little corners from the right side to the left side, and you can even see the steering wheel, yeah, that it turns. And now you look, it changes the direction. Now it's going to the right side. Now it's going again to the left side. So this kind of Autopilot, yeah, is not working as well as in the Tesla. You know, this is a very early production car. Maybe they will do it with an update, but you know, it's not really comfortable to driving like you know, if the police drives behind you, they think you have probably drink too much of whiskey maybe or beer, and so it's not very good to drive always like this on a street, because it not looks properly. So my American English speaking friends in United Kingdom and wherever you are, here in the distance you can see Zugspitze. It's the highest German mountain. It is 2,964 meters high, and which is around about 10,000 feet, and we are just 10 kilometers away from the destination, and then we turn around and going in the other direction. So we are slightly in front of the turnaround point in Oberau. So we have driven 63.6 kilometers, so around about 65 kilometers as soon as we arrive. And as you can see, the average consumption in this direction was 16.1, which is very, very low, by the way. So I don't think I will get the Tesla much more down than 60.1, but we will see tomorrow, and when I do the test with the Tesla. But so anyway, we are going the other direction, where it's going slightly downhill all the time, and probably it will even go down. So, but I will put it to 0 and measure the other distance of 65 kilometers again from 0. So, my dear English native speakers, or not native bad English speakers like me, I'm at the end of the highway, Autobahn, 90 kilometers per hour, 60 miles roundabout, and the average consumption was 14.5. Average speed was 87. So that we have two construction sites on the highway. One is about 3 kilometers, one is about 10 kilometers, where you're only allowed to drive 80 kilometers per hour. And yes, the average consumption 14.5 downhill and 16.2 uphill. So this is an average of 15.3, 15.4. You know, this is really amazing. Yeah, that means you can get out of this car about 500, more than 500 kilometers of range, nearly 600, which is really, 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 really good. And it's not, by the way, it's not what I expected. I expected a range around about 450 to 500 kilometers driving this slowish speed. But the Tesla Björn test procedure is 90 kilometers per hour, and so I've tried to copy that a little bit. So you know, the speed test, the range tests, and it's really amazing. We are down now to 14.4, and it's much less than I've been expected, and it's really, it's very surprising, and it's overwhelming in a way. I will do tomorrow the same test with the Tesla. Yeah. By the way, the pressure of the tires, yeah, I don't know in PSI, but in bar it's about 3.0. All the tires here from that car. My Tesla is 3.4, so my Tesla should consume right from the tire pressure a little bit less. And yeah, it's really amazing what I found out. So I make you know, I put all the facts a little bit later together. So back again, live on stage, final kilometers, final miles. So I'm just in front of Porsche Zentrum in Augsburg, and where I give back the car to my friends. And so you can see my average consumption was now 14.3, average speed was 83, which is including some kilometers in the center of Munich. And so yeah, don't worry, I haven't left my car because of Corona. So they have said that there will be a shutdown within the next 48 hours, and we have to stay at home for the next 1 or 2 weeks. So therefore I enjoyed my last day of freedom for the next couple of weeks probably. And yeah, quite strange situation, huh? So right now everything is like normal, weather is nice, people driving stupidly with their cars, and yeah, and you know that you probably have to go tomorrow, to stay tomorrow in your fucking little apartment. Sorry for saying that. It's not that small, but you know, stay in the apartment all day is not really something which makes us feel good all the time. Even not me, even that I enjoy not working. But yeah, it's quite weird situation. But you know, we are on one planet. So the Italians, the Chinese were the first, the Italians were the second. Now it's the Germans and the Spanish who have trouble, and the French and the Belgians. So nearly everywhere, yeah. And so, but it has nothing to do with this little range test with the Porsche. So I'm estimate I have driven around about 400 kilometers, yeah, and which is quite a lot, yeah. And I still have, when I arrive, so the assumption is 17% state of charge, when I arrive. I'm not so sure if I left with 100%, so I have to look to the other videos before, because I forgot making a photo of the when I left. But I will. I think I have it on some of my first videos, and so therefore I will make a final conclusion about the real-world range. Not real-world German Autobahn 150 kilometer range, but just real-world range like Tesla Björn. Test procedure. And you know, electric cars it's not about going from point A to point B, which is about 700 kilometers away or 500 miles away, in a very fast time. You can do that anyway. You can do that with a Model 3, and so I don't think a Model 3, when you go on American highways, you lose a lot of time. Yeah, of course, when you have a diesel with, you know, like a Mercedes, you know, not a bloody Volkswagen. So, you know, these cars who said, oh, we are very clean, but finally have not been so clean. And but anyway, if you have a diesel and you go with 60-70 miles an hour, you can, with some of these cars, you can do 1,000 kilometers in a stint. I had a Mercedes 220 in E-Class from 2012. And so the fastest I've ever done was going from Lisbon to Nice in France, which is, you know, round about 1,750 kilometers. I've done that, you know, quite illegally in 11 hours. And if somebody doesn't believe me, I have proof, because I made photos of it, because I couldn't believe by myself. And so this was the fastest. You know, it was far beyond legal speeds in Europe. Outside of Germany, we have a lot of speed controls at night also, but they are fixed. So if you have the right program, you can chip around them and slow down in case you are close to one of these speed traps. But anyway, 11.5 hours or something like that was very fast. Was an average speed of more than 150 kilometers, which is about 90 miles, more than 90 miles. Average speed, by the way, you know, point A to point B. But you know, this you cannot do with a Tesla Model S. You can not the same average. You will never be able to do this kind of average speed with a Model 3 or any other car. Yeah, because even with a new Tesla Roadster, who is supposed to have a range of more than 1,000 kilometers, more than 1,000 kilometers, which is 650 miles or more. Yeah, you will do it when you go 100 kilometers per hour, yeah, or 60 miles per hour. But you will not do it when you go 150 or 200. Yeah, so then you have to do charging stops. And anyway, for the next 5 or 10 years, probably these charging stops will take you time. Even it's just 20 or 25 minutes with the modern cars, with the modern technology of the batteries. It will take you more time than just stop, fill in 80 liters of diesel, and then go ahead. Yeah, so this will not be something you can do with electric cars. But anyway, you know, electric cars driving is a different stuff. It's for the future, and it's so, you know, the local emissions are very low, and so therefore I think it's quite fair to be good to the environment, and even for the young generation it's good. Yeah, and so therefore electric cars are the future, by my opinion. Yes, we will still have another 10, 20, 30 years these combustion engine cars on the streets, and they are very good. But anyway, you know, my personal opinion is, you know, these combustion engine cars. Yeah. So what happens if we all in United States and all, you know, the Western countries, we change to electric cars within the next 5 or 10 years? Will this oil remain in the earth, or maybe because it then becomes cheaper, and then the Indians start driving combustion engine cars, or the Africans? And so I don't really think that the oil stays in the earth. Yeah, that they, you know, these guys in the Middle East, so they want to make money. Yeah, and in case we Western guys do not drive these cars anymore, others will drive these cars. So I'm not 100% sure about the logics of that, but we will see. Now today it's about electric cars, so this is an example of a very, very good electric car. I've done around about 250 miles today without a single charge, by the way. But I will make a little finish video, a little video at the end to make some kind of Corona consumption and not consumption, conclusion at the end. And sorry for my bloody English, but what can I do? I can speak better German, but you won't understand. So I will do a little resume at the end of the day, and then we will see really the facts. And tomorrow I'm I will be very you know, curious about my Tesla, because I'm driving my Tesla since last year of August. So this was very hot and always climatization was running. So I don't have really the numbers of my Tesla, comparable numbers, because at that time it was 30 degrees. I was always in Spain and in Portugal and in Italy, and always running air conditioning, which uses of course energy. And so I will see tomorrow with my Tesla where is the truth. And so I wish you a pleasant afternoon wherever you are, or evening or night, and talk to you later. Bye. So my electric vehicle English speaking friends, I'm in my Tesla today, and I want to explain you something. So my car is set up in German, but anyway, so some of you mostly are Tesla owners. This is what I have on typical range, and this is what I have on rated range. So as I've heard in United States, a typical range is rated range, or rated range is typical range. So the higher number is in my country rated range, and the lower number is typical range. So the car is full up to maximum. So I have 368 kilometers on the odometer, which is about 230 miles, something like that, 240 miles. And I'm doing the range test right now with my car. So I will do the same test like yesterday. You can see the weather is similar. It has 17 degrees. So everything is quite similar to the test with the Taycan. So I'm very excited what comes out of this test. So I'm back on my little road range trip. The 130 kilometers I've done yesterday with the Taycan. So I've set all the trips to 0, and yeah, I'm driving now up. It's going slightly uphill, and my typical range is 354, and my consumption right now is, because it's going a little bit uphill, 205 watt-hours per kilometer. Weather is very good. It's 18 degrees, and yeah, let's look forward what comes out of this incredible road range test. So I've done my first leg now and driven 66 kilometers, and the consumption is 148. Driving time was 45 minutes, and I'm coming to the turnaround point now in a couple of seconds, and then I will get back to you at the end of the second leg. Hello my friends, so I'm at the end of the second leg. I have driven 69 kilometers. I left the highway to find a place where I must not speak during driving, and I'm maybe doing some kind of bad accident. And so my driving time was again 46 minutes plus the 5 minutes for the detour, but my consumption hasn't went up since then. It's 131 and 51 minutes till here. And here you can see my typical range reduced to 253, but altogether, since both of my trips together, my average consumption in both directions was, for 150 kilometers, was 136 watt-hours, and this is slightly lower than with the Porsche Taycan, but I'll make a resume a little bit later. We are driving now about 20 minutes, 30 kilometers. Average speed is 90 kilometers per hour, and the consumption is 7.1 liters per 100 kilometer. So that's quite comparable with the Taycan and with the Tesla Model S now. The same speed, 90 kilometers per hour and 7 liters per 100 kilometer. So pretty low.